Whenever something goes wrong, virulently wrong, violently wrong, politically wrong, criminally wrong, the first point of bashing is the people in khaki. If there are riots in Delhi that have been orchestrated by malified interests to coincide with the visit of the previous US president, and people start dying in those riots, it's the cops who have bungled it. If a brutal beheading takes place in Udaipur, it's the cops who have bungled it. If there is a political conspiracy happening and the cops are favoring one side or the other, or the investigating agencies are favoring one side or the other, one is a caged parrot, one is not. This is the sum total of our reality, and as it should be. The machinery, the provision of law, as well as the ability to exercise the authority of the state as practiced by the representatives who are in uniform in the course of duty as police personnel, their abilities, powers, all should be brought under immense and intense scrutiny. They have a job to do. We expect them to do the job well. If they don't do the job well, they should be open to scrutiny, to correction, and indeed to accountability. But what happens when an honest officer doing his job is killed in the line of duty, whether it be a Tukaram Omble who literally held an AK-47 as it was pumping bullets into his stomach so that we could catch Ajmal Kasab arrive, or another honest cop trying to implement the law in the sand mining mafia, whether it be Karnataka or Haryana, gets killed by the gangsters, or the open gundagiri that you're seeing on your screens that has happened in a police station in the national capital of this country. So a bunch of gundas, 10-15 people, come to the Anand Vihar police station, okay, and there's a cop there. He has associates nearby. This is inside a police station. They catch hold of his collar and beat him up while everybody else is shooting videos. They themselves are shooting videos. The man is a head constable. Okay. Now I want you to imagine this. If a cop does something wrong, okay, traffic cop stops you, all right, and they have quotas to complete, so your RC and this and that pollution comes out and you get irritated and feel hassled, okay. Worse, that in order to, move from the side, he's expecting 200, 300 rupees from you, sometimes more. Very bad. There is accountability that still can be brought to offer, because the strong arm of the law should be feared by criminals and not by you and me. But here is the irony. The criminals somehow don't to be immune to the strong arm of the law. They're not fearing it at all. Okay? And the rest of us face the routine, what can be described as harassment. We are in a very strange situation which both reflects upon policing, how we treat khaki in this country, the respect due, and the fact that you can walk into a police station and beat up a head constable if you're a gunda. Given the two alternatives, who would you rather be dealing with? A person in uniform whose accountability at least you can ensure by going up the ranks, or the sadake gunde who do these kind of things? Think about it. Who would you rather meet on the road at night? These kind of gundas or somebody in khaki? Now, let me open up this conversation. L.N. Rao is on the broadcast with us. He's been in Delhi for better part of several decades. He spent time in uniform. He's been a DCP. He's handled hardened criminals. He's handled anti-terror investigations. You name it, he's done it. And I'm sure he's actually shocked and appalled after his time in the special cell to see what's happened in, I think, was it Anand Vihar? Ved Bhushan is joining us. He is a former Assistant Commissioner of Police. Ranveer Sharma, another IPS officer, all on the broadcast with us. Let me start with you, Mr. Rao. What I mean, what is this just happened? How can Gunda just walk into a police station and start beating up constables?
When I heard this news and when I got into this detail of this case, I was really shocked to know about that how a person can dare to enter in the police station and beat an officer who is in uniform. And this is very strange. This shows the mentality of the criminals nowadays, how their morale is boosted. And this they even don't care for the law of land, what action can be taken against them. They must be knowing that now the case will be registered against them and then they will be dealt with as per law of our land, that they, inside the police station, the person on duty, he has been beaten brutally and the person is begging for his life in front of him, that person. Thanks God to the person who has clicked this video and made it viral. Had it not been, then you and me could not have been aware of such.
But Eleanor, who are these people? I mean, here is the reality. These people do these kind of gundagiris because they come with the logic of मेरा बाप कौन, ठीक है, मेरे ताई जी कौन, either तो विधायक हैं या काउंसलर हैं या खुद पुलिस में हैं, तो क्या बिगाड़ लोगे? They come with this kind of logic, okay, which is a menace not only to the people in uniform, but these guys are obviously a menace to you and me, who are now common citizens.
That is definitely, that is to be seen during investigation. Who are these persons and how they can dare to do that? It definitely shows that what you are saying is very correct, that they must be having some very good protective hand. Either maybe a politician, maybe some police officer, maybe some other muscle power man, or having money power with them. So with that only they can do. Normal citizen, normal person who is law-abiding person cannot do all these such things. Because this is really a shocking, and that can only be done by the criminal like a gunda of that area who can dare to do all these things.
But this is the national capital. This is Anand Vihar. Okay, this is it's a preeminent part of Delhi. Okay, it's not the back of beyond in some tribal district. Okay, these are people who are laughing. Okay, as one of their mates is slapping across the face a head constable. Okay, there are 10, 12 of them and they are laughing. Now, Mr. Rao, we've all experienced it. I've experienced it for sure. Okay, that if you are an honest citizen going about your way, you will be stopped. Where is your RC? Where is your pollution? Where is your this insurance paper? Where is your license? I can't read your name clearly. Where is this? Where is that? Okay, and you will see simultaneously two of these gundas on a mobike, no helmet, triple riding. Sometimes I've seen them going around shirtless and nobody stops them. So now what are we suggesting now, that if gundas can now beat up police persons, then what are we saying about what is happening regarding gunda culture?
The gunda culture can be only dealt with as per law, and then the police has to be strict with them. Only strict action is required, and these gundas can be dealt with the very stiff and strong hands by the police. And anybody who comes in their sport, they should also be dealt with according to law. And the senior police officers should take a note of it, then such an incident do not recur. And then, as you rightly said, this is the capital of India. And there is not any remote area or any tribal area or any so-called situation in Bihar or any remote areas where the police is being beaten by the criminals like anything. And this message should go to the all criminals, that
the message should begin with these guys. The message should begin with these guys, okay? Because like I've said, every time something goes wrong in the city, I mean, in the end, if there's a crime, somebody robs your house, okay? Somebody steals your car, who are you going to call? You're not going to call the Ghostbusters, no? You're going to call the police, no? So in the end, when something goes wrong, you call the police for help, okay? And the truth is, all of us, myself included, everyone watching this broadcast, okay, is guilty that when the cops stop us, we try to have every bahana, okay, every excuse, okay, every measure, okay, that I'll call so one and so no one. Many of us are guilty of these things. But this is beyond just some chest thumping, okay, then saying that, my cousin is so and so. That is one level of activity. This is, I'm going to bring my friends, come to your police thana, come inside the police thana, and I'm going to beat you up, okay, and I'm going to record from several camera angles my own crime so it can be publicized and all can know who I am. Ved Bhushan ji, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's mind-boggling, the mockery of what is taking place here. What do we do about it?
ऋषभ, सबसे पेनफुल और दुख की बात, अनफॉर्चुनेट बात यह है कि जो अरेस्ट हुए हैं दोनों एडवोकेट हुए हैं। जो आपके चैनल पर जो पीटता हुआ, थप्पड़ मारता हुआ, स्लैपिंग करता हुआ नवयुवक दिखाई दे रहा है, इसका नाम है मिस्टर चौधरी। ही इज एन एडवोकेट इन कटकाडूमा कोर्ट और कटकाडूमा विलेज के ही रहने वाले हैं। और वो ये दिखाना चाहते थे हम कितने स्ट्रांग हैं अदालत के अंदर भी और थाने के अंदर भी, और किस तरह से उनका कंडक्ट आपके टेलीविजन पर, चैनल पर, तमाम मीडिया के अंदर दिखाया जा रहा है। ये अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट ये था कि उसका भाई शराब के नशे में, अजय चौधरी ड्रंक था। पुलिस की गलती ये थी कि स्नैचिंग के केस में उसको पुलिस स्टेशन लेकर आया गया था। उसकी यही गलती थी कि वो अपनी ड्यूटी कर रहा था। उसकी गलती ये थी कि थाने वालों ने उस टाइम फिर भी पेशेंस का इस्तेमाल किया और इन लोगों को, पुलिस वालों ने जाने दिया, छोड़ दिया कि शायद हो सकता मामला सिमट जाए। परंतु सोशल मीडिया और आप लोगों की वजह से मामला लाइट में आया और अब इन दोनों की गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है। और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बात यह, इनमें दूसरे जो एडवोकेट हैं, उससे पहले भी जब कड़कड़डूमा में इलेक्शन हुआ था, इन्होंने पुलिस वालों के साथ इसी तरह मारपीट की थी, परंतु उस टाइम वो मामला दब गया या अनहर्ड चला गया।
वेद भूषण जी, ठीक है, वेद भूषण जी, दिल्ली में, ठीक है, सबसे बड़े, सबसे रईस लॉयर्स, सारा सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस, हाई कोर्ट के जजेस, द हुज हू ऑफ द लीगल फ्रेटर्निटी, अटॉर्नी जनरल, सोलिसिटर जनरल, एडिशनल सोलिसिटर जनरल, सब दिल्ली में, दिल्ली वासी हैं, दिल्ली में रहते हैं, ठीक है। तो हम क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि ये जो लोग हैं, इनको क्या, द बार शुड बी टेकिंग व्हाट एक्शन अगेंस्ट देम?
दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण बात मैं आपको बताऊं, जब किरण बेदी के केस में मैं भी उससे जुड़ा हुआ था, जब किरण बेदी के केस में हम लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जब एक कमेटी का गठन किया गया, बधवा कमेटी का, जिसकी जांच हाई कोर्ट के प्रीमिसेस में हो रही थी, दुर्भाग्य देखिए कि कोई भी पुलिस वाले को डिफेंड करने के लिए, किरण बेदी जैसी कॉप्स को या हम लोगों को डिफेंड करने के लिए दिल्ली में एक भी एडवोकेट तैयार नहीं था। तो ऐसे हालात में पुलिस वाले कैसे काम करेंगे, मुझे बड़ा ताज्जुब होता है। अभी आपने सुप्रीम कोर्ट के एडवोकेट्स, बड़े बड़े एडवोकेट्स का नाम लिया, अभी चिदम्बरम साहब भी 106 दिन रह के आए कोर्ट के अंदर। तो जब अदालत का मामला आता है, लॉ का मामला आता है, तो एक कहते हैं सबके लिए कानून बराबर होना चाहिए। जब अपनी मामला अपनी फ्रेटर्निटी से जुड़ जाता है, अपना एक विशेष वर्ग से जुड़ जाता है, तो सब कुछ सामान्य हो जाता है। आपने देखा सुप्रीम कोर्ट में किसी बहुत बड़े एडवोकेट को केवल 1 रुपया देख छोड़कर उनको माफ कर दिया गया कि ठीक है, आपका ऑफेंस केवल इतना था कि आप 1 रुपया जमा कराइए, आपको छोड़ दिया जाएगा। तो ये तमाम चीजें सोचने पर मजबूर करती हैं कि क्या कानून सबके लिए बराबर है? जिन अदालतों
No,
पर
I think there are the
Sure.
people at the top of India's jurisprudence, the learned people who actually believe in the law and not on the gundagiri of the law, should be taking deep cognizance of this. And I don't know where these people have graduated law schools. So the basic thing was this guy who was doing the slapping. Just let me finish, sir.
They were practicing lawyer. They were practicing lawyer. They were not law LLB students. They were practicing lawyer.
Yeah, so let me just finish. The basic thing was that this guy was supposed to be inebriated. Okay, his friends came to get him released, saying that he's a lawyer. The cops decided that they would release him. And this guy comes and, he's with the guy with the, shirt half down, all right, who's doing the slapping, okay. You can tell that he is not in, sensical frame of mind. And he's doing this while his friends are, of course, recording it and the others are laughing. They're finding it very funny. So what you're seeing is an observation. Now, after having seen an observation, okay, given that this is happening in Delhi, this is happening a few kilometers from the Supreme Court of India, that it is the prerogative then of the jurists in this country to take cognizance, and people like this should be barred from practicing anywhere in the country for life. It should be the end, okay? Because pictures speak 1,000 words. Let me get Ranveer Sharma ji into this. Ranveer ji, I began by saying that the people in khaki, because they have the power of the state behind them, should be willingly subject to intense scrutiny. That we, the people of the country, when in trouble, whether we like it or not, have to go to the police. And oftentimes, our interaction with the police is an unpleasant one. Okay? and we feel uncomfortable, we feel harassed, and for many reasons. But when it comes to the police trying to do their jobs, that the gundas get away with all sorts of nonsense, as we are learning an example that had this not been videographed and and made public, they would have probably gotten away with it. Sharma ji,
I beg your pardon, please. What is your question?
can we just check Sharma ji's audio connection, because it's a long-winded question.
I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you.
Sharma ji, how is it that the gundas, had this not been videographed and shown now on social media and television, they would have probably gotten away with it?
No, it depends on, whosoever is the in charge. Now the in charge SHO and in charge ACP, this is their duty ki bhi how they run their police stations. If Gunda comes and beat one of the head constable, it is their duty ki they should ensure justice to the head constable. Number one. Number two, whosoever the gundas, they say ki I am an advocate, I am wearing the black coat and I can take the law in my hand. He is wrong. And the law will take his own course. Definitely they will be punished. They will be not even punished by the law, by the court also. So let us investigate the matter, and if they had taken law in their hands, they have to be...
I don't think this is an if and but matter now, sir, because it's patently obvious to any person with sense on what they're watching on the screen. This is not a manufactured video. ज़रूरत कैसे हुई, to ask a Hindi colloquial शब्द, रणबीर जी, ऐसी ज़रूरत कैसी हुई कि मैं पुलिस थाने के अंदर घुस के अपने 10 दोस्तों के साथ वहाँ पर पुलिस वालों को ही पीट दूंगा? ऐसी ज़रूरत कैसे हुई? कहीं से तो मेंटालिटी आई है ना?
Mentality is very simple, partner, कि because the police has exposed to the वकील्स, वकीलों को पुलिस एक्सपोज हो चुकी, उन्हें पता है कि पुलिस वाले ज्यादा क्या करेंगे, 332-53 का एक मुकदमा दर्ज कर देंगे, हर्ट का मुकदमा दर्ज कर देंगे, हम बेल करा लेंगे, मतलब दे लो द नो ना। तो इसलिए उनको ये डेर हो गया कि भी हमारा ज्यादा क्या बिगाड़ लेंगे। इस बिगाड़ने की व्यवस्था में उन्होंने ये कानून हाथ में लिया है, और कानून हाथ में लिया है तो अब ये जो SHO हमारा इंचार्ज है और ACP इंचार्ज है या DCP इंचार्ज है, उनको ये देखना है कि वो इन गुंडों को क्या क्या इलाज करते हैं। देयर आर सो मेनी वेज, आई शुड नॉट टेल ऑन द वीडियोज नाउ कि भी क्या क्या वो एक्शन ले सकते हैं। हमारे पास पावर की कमी नहीं है। एक SHO जो इंचार्ज है, ACP इंचार्ज है, DCP इंचार्ज है, उसके पास पावर की कमी नहीं है उन गुंडों का इलाज करने के लिए, और उसे करना चाहिए। अगर उसने नहीं किया तो ये गुंडागर्दी और बढ़ सकती है। इसलिए हर हालत से जिन्होंने कानून हाथ में लिया है उन्हें सख्ती से जवाब देना चाहिए।
You know, when I graduated from school, I gave just 2 entrance examinations, one for journalism and one for law. Had it not just been for happenstance, I might have been a lawyer today. I'm hoping this is not the great repute to the legal profession that I would have brought in by doing these kind of activities. You have now a lot of universities that have propped up that offer degrees without offering education, it seems. And I'm hoping, this is a live telecast, I'm hoping that sensible people watching telecasts like this, having had seen the video, are deeply aggrieved and troubled by what has happened, and a defaming of a fraternity is taking place at this point of time by people who come up with overnight shops, who have not gotten educated on the law but have managed to get accreditation to practice it, which seems rather strange. This person should never be allowed to practice in any court in this country ever again. It should be pretty clear. I'm just coming to Mr. Rao. This person should not be allowed to practice in any court ever again. And the greatest condemnation should not come from other pillars of the many estates. But the one solace we've got amidst the politics that consumes us, and for every major decision, every important PIL, we look to jurists and the courts in this day and age. They take on all the issues that the politicians don't want to take on. They conclude matters that nobody wants to touch with a barge pole, that the rest of us, including in the media, fail where we are accused of media trials. Pretty sad. Mr. Rao, sorry, you wanted to make an interjection, so go ahead.
Yes.
Mr. Rao.
Yes, Rishabh. I must tell you that the lawyers that they claim to be a lawyer, but I must tell you that the whole fraternity cannot be such type of do such type of activities. There are certain people who are in the name of being a lawyer. They do all these activities. Otherwise, so many lawyers are sensible lawyers, and they mean it that if they know that what is the law of our land, and they cannot take law into their hands. But such type of people who are, as you rightly said, they may not be having a proper education of LLB. They might have been studied somewhere else. I must tell you that if their details are being investigated, they will not be properly graduated, because if they are doing such type of activities in the police station, then it is certainly they are not a good lawyer. And I say that the bar associations, in some cases, when they support such type of lawyers, at that time I also condemn the bar also, because they should think what they have done. If somebody has beaten the policeman in the police station, and if some bar association comes into their rescue, then I think that the bar officials should also think twice before doing these things. And the judges also, I must tell you, because I am the professional law for the last 8 years, I know that some courts are so weak. Even then, when the bar association comes to the court, those courts also have to bow down the terms and conditions of that bar association. You must be having the case of the Delhi this Tisdari court incident. In that incident, what happened? The inquiry was conducted. Now, the final report has not been published right now. The inquiry commissioned by the retired judge, and in that case also, the police versus advocates. The police was being victim. Police was beaten in the Saket court also. Openly, the one constable was, one sub-inspector was beaten by the helmet of by a lawyer. So, not every lawyer is...
So having addressed that, I host a lot of eminent lawyers. Some people practicing in all the courts of the land are well known to me and dear friends of mine. These are bringing the profession into disrepute. Is a patent case example here. This person should never be allowed to practice law, obviously. It should be but obvious. And suo motu cognizance should be taken. But in the end, it is patently obvious that there is no comparison to this individual and maybe a few others.
Rishabh, may I come in?
The larger scale of the legal fraternity here, which I'm hoping will take action against him. But it comes to a core issue. Ved Bhushan ji, the core issue remains, and there's no running away from the core issue. This person was in this case a lawyer, could have been architect, or could have been Vidayak ka cousin. Doesn't make a difference. My question is that in the national capital, for places where postings are highly coveted by those in uniform, where the commissionerates are very senior posts in the framework of the entire nation, Delhi, Mumbai, Zurrat kaise hui? How is he reached a stage where somebody felt that they could do this and get away with it?
आज तक किसी भी बार एसोसिएशन ने किसी भी एडवोकेट के खिलाफ कोई मेजर एक्शन आज तक नहीं लिया है. टिल डेट आज तक जब से बार एसोसिएशंस बनी है तब तक कोई ऐसा एग्जाम्पल नहीं किया है कि उन्होंने बार से किसी को परमानेंटली एक्सपेल किया हो या लंबे टाइम के लिए लॉन्ग टाइम के लिए उनको बाहर निकाला गया हो. अब 30,000 कोर्ट का जो जिसमें कन्फ्रंटेशन सामने आई थी उसमें केवल इतना एक वही ताकत वाली बात थी कि मैं बहुत पावरफुल एडवोकेट हूं. केवल एक पार्किंग का इश्यू था जहां पर उसको गाड़ी पार्क नहीं करनी चाहिए थी क्योंकि वहां पर कैदियों की गाड़ियां पार्क की जानी थी. उस चीज को इतना फ्लेयर अप किया गया कि पुलिस को एक तरह से हड़ताल तो नहीं अपने रिप्रेजेंटेशन करने के लिए हजारों की तादाद में पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर पर जाना पड़ा. आपको याद होगा वो इंसिडेंट पूरी दिल्ली में किस तरह से दिल्ली ने देखा था. तो ये जो दिमाग के अंदर है आपकी की जरूरत कैसे हुई कि हम तो वकील हैं, हम तो इस फ्रेटर्निटी से बिलोंग करते हैं, आप हमें कोई चैलेंज नहीं.
That point has been made. Ved Bhushan ji, we've made that point repeatedly, and this individual and that individual do not represent the legal fraternity. Does the Bar Association have now should and take cognizant? I am completely in agreement. Absolutely they should do, because had I not been in this profession, and I promise you I would be earning a lot more as a lawyer today than I earn as a journalist, I would have been a lawyer. But I'm deeply aggrieved at what is happening here. I'm sure people watching this are equally aggrieved, but that doesn't answer my question. My question, Vedji, is that the concept of gunda culture, because when the normal person who is the honest citizen has to come in front of authorities, whether it be at a traffic signal or otherwise, they come under very caustic inquisition. When a police person stops you over a petty thing, वो दिमाग खराब कर देते हैं आपका, ठीक है, over petty nonsensical matters. But at the same time, gundas seem to be able to do whatever they want. ये तो उल्टा चल रहा है ना. It should be the आम आदमी who is able to do whatever they want, and गुंडा should be in the fear of the law. ये उल्टा कैसे हो गया है?
वही तो शर्म वाली बात यही तो है, जो सड़क पर जो एक आम आदमी खड़ा है, वो जो ऑफिसर खड़ा है, वो केवल कांस्टेबल, हेड कांस्टेबल, सब इंस्पेक्टर, इंस्पेक्टर रैंक तक का अधिकारी होता है, क्योंकि सीनियर ऑफिसर्स अपने ऑफिस में होते हैं. फील्ड के अंदर जो कांस्टेबलरीज की जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, जो एसएचओ तक की जो प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं, वो अनएड्रेस रह जाती हैं. तो इसलिए जरूरत है कि उन तमाम चीजों को जो बिल्कुल ग्राउंड पर टच करती हैं, जिस तरह से उनको फेस करना पड़ता है, अब वो टाइम आ गया है कि उनको भी एड्रेस किया जाए. अदरवाइज ये सिस्टम इसी तरह डिटोरेट होता रहा तो वही आपका डायलॉग कि जरूरत मेरे को कैसी है कि मेरे को आपने रोक कैसे लिया, मेरी कार कैसे रोक ली, मेरी हैसियत का नहीं पता, मैं इतनी बड़ी पोजीशन से आता हूं, अभी आपकी वर्दी उतरवा दूंगा. ये बिल्कुल एक फिल्मी डायलॉग, एक पैट डायलॉग एक आम आदमी आकर थानों में बोलता है, सड़कों पर बोलता है. तो ये तमाम चीजें जब तक प्रॉपरली एक पूरी सोसाइटी इसके लिए, और एडवोकेट्स इतने अच्छे, मेरे बहुत सारे कुलीग्स, दोस्त जिन्होंने मेरे साथ लॉ किया, जो आज प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, वो बहुत रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं. मैं बिल्कुल इस बात से एग्री करता हूं, क्योंकि केवल और केवल कुछ परसेंटेज है जो जिस तरह का सीन आपने दिखाया आनंद विहार थाने के लिए, वो हार्डली फ्यू इस तरह के लोग हैं जो जिस तरह से पीसीआर कोर्ट के अंदर हुआ. मैं एग्री करता हूं.
Yeah, they're just two. So okay, let me leave a last thought with Ranveer Sharma ji. Ranveer ji, so there are two issues. One is in this specific case where the accused happens to be a lawyer, okay, and we've caught it on camera. I'm sure there are other incidents in which somebody is a politician's son or somebody is an influential business person's cousin. वैसे भी होंगे, okay. These things happen, but my question to you remains different, sir. My question is that जो perception जो खादी की होती है आम आदमी के साथ, common person के साथ, बड़ी antithetical होती है कि अरे पुलिस वाले आ गए, अब ये गाड़ी का ये पूछेंगे, ये कैसा है, वह कैसा है. तो ये आम आदमी feels harassed और गुंडास feel emboldened. ये उल्टा कैसे चल रहे हैं हम?
होता ये है कि भी जो पुलिस है वो हमेशा आपको गलती पे या पुनिटी पॉइंट पे पकड़ती है. तो इसलिए हर आदमी सोचता है ये पुलिस वाला आ गया, उसको गलत शब्दों के अंदर वो प्रयोग करता है. अब जो गुंडा है उसके सामने वो पुलिस एक्सपोज हो जाती है, वो जेल में रहा हुआ होता है या कोर्ट में रहा हुआ होता है या उन केसेस को लड़ता है, तो उसको उन सारे कानूनों का जानकार हो जाने के बाद वो पुलिस के ऊपर ये हावी समझता है कि पुलिस का जो 161 का बयान है उसकी कोई वैल्यू नहीं है. हम मजिस्ट्रेट को कहेंगे ये तो इसने गलत तरीके से लिखवाया हुआ है. ये परसेप्शन जो है ना हमारा पुलिस का एक बन चुका है. तो पुलिस को भी अपने अंदर इस चीज का सुधार करना पड़ेगा और जो गुंडागर्दी वाले हैं उनको भी सबक सिखाना पड़ेगा.
Okay.
ये दोनों तीनों चीज चलेंगी. यस, पुलिस अपने व्यवहार को ठीक करे, जो गुंडा है उसका कानून के मुताबिक इलाज करे और कोर्ट में उसकी ठोक की पैरवी करे. अगर एक गुंडे को भी कोर्ट में सजा हो जाती है तो 10 गुंडों को आंख हो जाती है.
Okay, so I'm going to end this conversation, okay, on two hopeful notes. One is a important understanding that any person in khaki and uniform, okay, serving under duress in difficult conditions, must understand that when you are dealing with people who have made a mistake, okay, who are otherwise honest, hard-working people, that you should deal with them with the grace that the law allows you, the mannerism that the law allows you, that they feel respected and don't feel harassed. This is fundamentally important because having the people on side for the police to respect you is very important, because the consequence otherwise is that the assumption is drawn that the aam aadmi feels harassed while the gunda like this, lawyer or otherwise, okay, gets into a position of feeling emboldened. The people who should fear the law don't fear it because they know it better, they understand the convolutions better. The second is that here if you are in a position that two people have done something like this in the national capital, the home of pretty much the home of the senior judiciary in this country. How is that possible? You will find out that, as I said, they might have graduated degree, but they certainly haven't been educated or enlightened. And they should not be practicing in any court, in any country, on any matter ever again. We take a move away from this bizarre issue happening in the national capital. I'm going to thank my guests for joining us on the telecast and at least getting an opportunity to espouse and expound their opinion and their angst, which is reflective not only of this case, but I'm sure through their life experience as well, and hoping that the people who are in a position to do something about it are now going to be doing something about it through the understanding of the imagery that this is going out to the public at large, from both within uniform of one kind and a different uniform of a different kind, which is a black coat in a court of law.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.